What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In this video, guys, we have on the channel here with us Deadwood Jedi. What's up, Deadwood? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Good to be on here. Thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure chatting with you, my brother. So yeah, let's get to it.
Glad to have you, my brother. Guys, I will be leaving his link in the description down below in the pinned comments, or most probably because I always forget about the description. But head over and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to his channel, guys. In this video, we're kind of gonna talk about champions that they had their value skyrocketing, like their value surged so much, honestly, and we were not expecting it, right? We had the new Doom Tower bosses coming out, and everybody before was like expecting to see a lot of bomb champions in there, more Doom priests, more of this champion, of the other champion. But man, none of those champions are making it in the most common teams out there. So it kind of is like a bit of like a turnover, right? So we're gonna talk about which champions had a value surge recently in the last couple of weeks with the new content, guys, right? So that would, if you would like to go first and say which champion kind of had a huge value surge for you recently with the Doom Tower, right? That's kind of like what we're looking for, champions that we were not expecting to see there.
Yeah, 100%. There's so many, right? It's hard to choose just one to start with, but I figure we'll start with the one that probably is being used. If you have this champion, you're using this champion. 100%, I think, got the biggest value surge, and that's got to be Vizier, right? I mean, when we're talking about Bommel, he's so annoying because every time you put a debuff on him, he's gonna put a bomb on you. And with Vizier, you make it so all you have to do is put them on once, and then they stay on. Not to mention, he brings his own trio of amazing debuffs that are really useful for this boss anyway. So he's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you have him, you're using him because he's literally the best for this boss. There's nobody that's going to be better. And Lord knows we didn't think we'd be using him for anything but clan boss. So.
Absolutely. Like, I was not expecting to see him there, but having to increase the decrease accuracy because of the mechanics of the boss getting extra turns and instantly dropping the decrease accuracy debuff, right? And then block debuffs to block his attack up, decrease attack, huge debuffs on the boss, 100%.
Yep.
That's my build on him, guys. I'm just showing you because I'm using him as well. You do have to go with tons of resistance and a decent amount of accuracy and try to tank him a bit and give him some speed as well. But basically, I gave him this kind of sets in here. Now, I would have to go with the next champion because we're talking about this here. Wurlim, man. Like, would you expect to see Wurlim in there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you expecting him there?
Not at all. Not at all. Honestly, and you know, to be fair, I'm more surprised to see Wurlim in there than Vizier, just because he's never had any place in this game. And you know, the thing is, even when they were explaining this stuff to us, the one thing I never really expected us to need to be able to bring in was decrease accuracy as a debuff.
Exactly.
And man, Wurlim is now perfect because he doesn't even need accuracy to place it. It's just an automatic decrease accuracy debuff that he places. He's really essential, I think, for a lot of this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Vizier is a bit more important, don't get me wrong, just because he can do so much. And Wurlim can
I named them first for a reason. So.
I know. Wurlim can be replaced by quite a lot of other decreased accuracy champions, yes, right? Which we're going to cover a couple more in a second, guys. But he definitely brings the freeze on the A1. I haven't built him with accuracy. I'll show you the build, guys, in a second. But having the decreased accuracy unresistible is awesome. Definitely on the masteries, you want to go with Master Hexer to extend that to 3 turns possibly. And having strengthen and increased defense can help your team survive quite a bit. The boss deals tons of damage. He's a crazy boss, that one. We all know how crazy he is. So these buffs as well can actually help you a bit. Now, the freeze, if you build him with accuracy, the chance is not insane. 50% chance to land freeze. You might be getting a bit of damage reduction from the side bombs as well from the minions, right? But this is my Vizier right here. 2 speed sets and a crit rate set, because Deadwood Jedi loves the crit rate sets. Make sure you guys check that out as well on his channel. I'm not sure when the videos they're gonna drop out, but we actually covered the gear sets on his channel, so stay tuned for those videos. These are his total stats. Masteries, War Master on most of these champions for the Doom Tower, more or less. But I have Master Hexer and I do have Lasting Gift, so a bit more unusual rather than to go on the defense tree. Now, what would be the next champion you would say you've seen a value surge and was not expected on this list, right? With the Doom Tower, when we made the previous videos, some of us content creators made actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one champion I was really not expecting to see, and I think we're gonna, kind of skip around to the other boss on this one, but Herndik, I just had no expectation to see him anywhere on these lists. I thought people were just like, "Oh, this guy hits hard," but no, he's really good against the lady boss. I can't even remember her name.
Yeah,
Astrolab.
I'm just calling her
Lady,
Dark
whatever.
Phase easier. Like whenever they put like huge names in front of it and does something, I'm always using does something, Never the
The
first.
Dark Fae, yes.
Yeah, easier. But yeah,
Yes.
Herndik is awesome. Was the fusion champion, guys. Honestly, he's just an amazing champion overall. I remember I got a lot of hate when this fusion dropped and I said that this champion is awesome. And a lot of people were like, nah, this is another trash champion. This champion is rubbish. This content creator hyping the fusion again. But yeah, that's Skratch just saying that the champion is good. And guess what? The champion is good, actually. So the reason why this champion is so good on the Dark Fae, guys, is the boss gets the mirror copies of your champions, right? And if you don't want a manual, I made 100% full auto team, 100% success win rate, right? With Herndik in the team, him being the fastest in my team. And the idea is in the next way. If I don't have the A2 or A3 available, for a lot of champions, it's going to be a loss, right? Because the enemy team will always have all the skills on a 0 cooldown. They'll be able to use whatever the mirror copies. So that will make you lose the fight. But with Herndik, you build your other champion that's the lead squishy enough. He's going to go with the A1, kill it, get an extra turn, and then kill the rest of them as well. So it's just an awesome, awesome champion. He brings weaken, defense down, HP burn. He's a very, very powerful champion. So that's my Herndik right here with the build that I have for him, guys. 2 speed sets, 1 crit damage set. Decent amount of accuracy because you do want to decrease the 10 meter defense down. You don't want him too tanky either. And I only have 99 crit rate. I wish we would get 1% crit rate glyphs to save me out here, So yeah, probably my team won't be 100% successful if he messes something up from here. But that's about it. Masteries on him. Kind of like this. Helm Smasher. But awesome, awesome champion. Now, I'll have to go with the next champion and honestly say that I wasn't expecting to see this champion. I always wanted to get the champion since before he even got released without actually knowing that he was kind of like rubbish shiz. And it's Samar Gemcurst. He can solo.
Yeah.
He can solo floor 90, right? For example. And was the 10x on him a week ago? I managed to pull 2 of them, by the way, in the same 10x. So I have double. Now I tried doing double on the 90 stage, but it's not working as good. It's not making a huge difference overall. But Samar Gemcurst, solo floor 90, guys. I think at the moment I have a bit too much speed on him and sometimes it's failing. I gotta decrease the speed a bit, like 20 speed lower, and he's gonna do it without having any sort of issues. He doesn't need resistance. HP defense is pretty good on him. No books whatsoever. And you see that with Jedi laughing because he's like, this champion?
Yeah.
What is this to do here?
I gotta reduce the speed on him. I'm like, first world problems right there.
I do actually, because he's too fast and he's failing sometimes.
Yeah.
So I gotta drop it a bit.
It's amazing that he's able to solo, that anybody's able to solo Bommel. But yeah, and I'm glad we found at least some place to use this champion because he looks too cool. His kit seems too awesome for him to be such trash in everywhere else, right?
I know, right?
This is great that there's a place for him at least, and in one of the hardest pieces of content in the game too.
He just needs to deal a bit of damage, man. Like, you use him, guys, by locking his A2 and A3. You're only going to use his A1 and make use of the passive, basically. That's about it. Getting that block damage up and running. But that was my Samar not booked. He doesn't need the books to do it, by the way. So that's a good plus as well. Now, what would be another champion that you would have on the list, for example?
Well, I mean, I suppose we should go with, one of the ones that everybody's using, right? That's got to be Voggoth. Just one of the best champions, and I've actually been using him for a lot of content in general, up until this point because of his passive ability that allows your team, every time he takes damage, they heal up, and he's just such a great champion for that and has such viability in so many different areas of the game as a result. But he's really great in this one. Obviously, against the bomb champion, makes it a lot easier when he takes damage that everybody else heals up when those big bombs go off. But yeah, and he also places that leech as a passive ability too every time he gets hit. So he's very, very effective in the Doom Tower.
Definitely. And the good part about him as well is that if you're not really worrying about that leech as much, which is not very effective against these bosses because War Master doesn't deal a ton of damage, and overall you can't deal much damage, but it can still help you a bit, right? The main idea is that you don't need books for this guy either. You just need his passive, right? A1, A2 doesn't matter that much, so you can kind of make it budgetish with him. He's an awesome champion. Like, when he got released, me and some clanmates, we thought that's it. We made unkillable teams for Arena. They're not going to kill us. We're going to use 2 Voggoths. It didn't really work as we thought it might, but hey, we actually had a dream there. So I don't have him built at the moment, unfortunately, guys, because I'm missing quite a few pieces. But give him HP, decent speed, so he gets some turns to do some sort of work in there. But the main idea is he needs some HP to tank and stay alive,
100%. And you can build him high resist, right, like everybody else for Voggoth, and that's probably the best way to go. But you can also put accuracy on him because his A1 has a chance to extend the duration of debuffs, so it becomes like your budget Vizier option, right?
Yeah.
It's not usually enough to keep debuffs up 100% of the time, but especially if you're not overloading the boss with poisons or anything, you're only trying to really have 2 debuffs up: decrease accuracy and decrease attack. Sometimes you get an HP burn in there, sometimes you get decreased defense in a weekend, sometimes, well, especially with him, you're going to get a leech up there. So there's a few other things, but if you keep it to a small number of debuffs, you can usually keep them up 100% of the time. As long as that champion's continuing to cast those skills, it usually will stay up most of the fight. So it's really good.
Absolutely. Voggoth, awesome champion. Now I'll have to go with another champion that honestly kind of unexpected, man. Like, I always like the champion. He looks pretty cool as well, and he's going to be amazing for Faction Wars. But Burangiri, man, he's definitely the star of the show, because in the very first couple of days, everybody was panicked, man. Everybody was scared that they cannot beat the boss, but then Burangiri came to be the savior, right? So I don't have him built anymore because I moved the gear on Samar, right? But the main idea is I had him on regen set, immortal set, around 240 speed, 250 on floor 50 because it was kind of bugging out. He cannot do stage 90, right, on hard mode, but he can do normal mode and up to stage 50 on hard mode, right? Awesome champion. That's
pretty good.
He doesn't need books either. So everybody loves champions when they don't need books. You're gonna log the A3 on it. You kind of only care about the A1, A2. You just care him to use something rather than the A3. You don't want him to buff. But what comes in play is his passive. Heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. And those side bombs are enemies. So whenever they're gonna explode and die, he's gonna get 50% HP. The only thing is he needs to be over 40% HP when the bombs explode, because one of the side bombs deals exactly 40% of your total damage, of your total HP, So you want to be a bit higher than that, and he's going to survive and do it more. I haven't stressed him enough on stage 90, though. Probably with some crazy speed, which is not really accessible for a lot of you guys. Probably that's why I haven't stressed it much. He could solo 90 as well, but not realistically for the majority of guys,
Because you need to heal up in between those bomb hits, right? That's kind of the thing.
That's why he needs to rotate really fast, yeah.
I was gonna say, you could always try using a frenzy set to get that extra speed up, but healing up after that's gonna be pretty tricky, right? Like frenzy and 1 immortal, I don't know if that's enough to really make it work for you, but
unfortunately, yeah, it won't be.
Yeah, you need that regen, unfortunately.
You do it.
He's amazing, though. It's amazing that he can do that by himself, right?
Absolutely, and no books as well and anything like that. It is pretty crazy, actually.
Let me volunteer the best healer in this boss.
Please.
Going on. Let's talk about Vrask. Man, this guy, this is my superstar because every time he hits, my whole team's healing up for about 10k HP because of how I've built him.
I don't know where it's mine, so I'm gonna have to go to the index. It might be lost in the vault right now. But let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go and pick him up so that he's rest, guys. Keep on going, please, sir.
It's insane. You don't need books. Another champion, right?
That is awesome, actually. I love it.
Yeah, you don't need it. I think I don't even think you need to. Do you need? Is it off of crit that it happens? Yeah. So you want to have him with 100% crit rate because his turn meter. He gets a turn meter boost on his A1, and so basically just he hits and hits and hits and just goes and goes and goes. And every time he hits, he's gonna heal your entire team for 10% of his HP, and that's it. That's all you need, or 15%, something like that. It's an incredible ability. Just helps keep your team alive. So if you give him the most HP on your team, all of a sudden everybody's healing up, an incredible amount based off of his HP. And with that amount of HP, I don't even need to put my Vraska with any resistance. I need to give him he doesn't need accuracy because it didn't put debuffs anyway. Literally all I needed to do is give him speed and HP, and he's able to keep my team in pretty good stead. He can't solo it, right? He's not the only guy I need on my team, but he does a really good job of the, turn to turn, healing the team up and helping to keep them alive. Not enough by himself, but he, as part of a team, he's very, very strong.
Definitely. A lot of people, they kind of like forgot about him. They say, Rask got power creep. Rask is not good anymore. I'm not using Rask. But hey, here he is. He made a comeback. Rask, definitely a strong healer. And not just here. He's good for Eternal Dragon. Just generally, he's an awesome champion. Good damage dealer. Even for, what's the boss? The bird one. I forgot his name. Like literally, I got the black man, the Griffin. Yeah, Jesus, how I forgot that. But yeah, it's good for the Griffin. Not on this rotation because it's the wrong affinity, but just generally, is an awesome champion. Crit rate, HP, speed. That's kind of like the things you need. A relentless set possible. A frenzy set on the new boss is pretty good. How it's specified before as well. So definitely an awesome champion. Now I'm gonna have to go in and say it, guys, because a lot of people kind of felt bad with this champion as well. He does kind of need books this one, but Ninja is actually an awesome champion, right? So the thing on the bomb boss, you kind of want to target the bombs more on manual, right? But what's so good about Ninja, guys, is not really the freeze, not necessarily the passive, which is awesome, or the A1, is this skill right here. Deals so much damage, makes you run so much faster, even on the Dark Fae, generally on bosses, man. Like, this skill right here is just awesome in terms of damage. So Ninja as well is definitely deserving his place and his rank in here. Like, he definitely seen a value surge as well with this Doom Tower rotation coming in play. What other champion would you say is something that you were not really expecting to see around?
So I got two on my list that I want to cover because I think they're both really interesting.
Awesome.
Let's talk about the big one. I think this might be the most surprising out of all the champions. The most surprising that he's actually being used, and he trivializes those bombs when it comes to Bommel. I've got to go with now we're gonna go a different way. You're prepared. I'll save that one for afterwards. But it's got to be Master Butcher, right? Now all the credit to Cold Brew for uncovering this gem of a champion, or whoever was in his stream recommending him to try it. But like, this guy literally makes the side bombs trivial. He's such a good champion for this. It's unbelievable. It's how I was able to beat all the I passed through all three stages using Bommel, and it's all due to Master Butcher and his passive ability. That's just insane. He does need books I think he needs books to cool that passive ability down, but that's the only skill he needs books for. You need to put him in a frenzy set so he can take a turn in between bomb explosions. That's it. That's all you need with him. Stack his HP as high as you can. You don't need resistance. You don't need accuracy. He's bonkers good.
He's like this on a 1-turn cooldown is a nasty passive, right? When attacked, heals all allies equal passive to the amount of damage taken. Like, it's just awesome. And the good part that you can make with him, if the rest of the champions they have lower HP, right? Because he's gonna heal everybody of his damage taken, right? So if you have him with 80,000 HP and the rest their total HP is like 30, 40k, as an example, right? He's gonna be blasting them with 40k bang on full HP directly, even if he's not gonna get on full HP by any means, you know.
I feel like you've watched my team run. I mean, that's exactly what I did with my team.
Did you?
I have everybody like 40k, and he's up at like 70, 80k, and it's really fun to watch the two bombs go off. One bomb goes, he takes a turn because of the frenzy. The other bomb goes, and the rest of my team is completely full health. It's, you know, even if he dies, it doesn't matter. I just revive him with my revive champion. It's a really really awesome ability that he has. Also, you know, he has another passive too, that when he dies, he'll revive one of your champions. It's incredibly valuable against Bommel, because somebody dies randomly, unexpectedly, and you're like, oh no problem, got him back up.
That can be a good clutch for sure. Yeah. So Master Butcher, definitely awesome champion in there. Now I'm gonna go and speak about Anax, right? So I haven't really looked personally into it. This was more like from chat. Skratch use Anax because I forgot that he has the decreased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown for a 3-turn on the boss, you know? So I forgot. I really thought that was on a 2-turn rather than a 3-turn. But decreased accuracy is huge on the boss, guys. I actually played the team with triple decreased accuracy on the boss. It was a pain, right? I manual quite a bit. If you don't have Vizier, it's super hard to make a team that requires you to have decreased accuracy on the boss, right? So you go with resistance. So Anax comes in play with this. And not just that, he does bring your defense down. He brings you weaken. You get to deal a bit of more damage. And if you have resistance, you don't really have to worry about the boss knocking down at your door to put up any sort of bombs on you, you know? But I had him built very similar like Vizier, you know, like accuracy and resistance at the same time. But Anax, another champion that definitely I was not expecting to see to be used in the Doom Tower, you know.
He's a really good one. Plus his passes really work well, right? Getting that increased defense buff when he drops below 75%, increased attack when he drops below 50, and then he gets a full extra turn if he goes below 10%. That means, you know, as he gets pretty low, if it gets scary, he's going to take a turn right away and give himself a chance to, if not heal up, at least, you know, cool down that decreased accuracy again, so you can get that debuff back up on the boss like you want. And it's all 3-turn cooldowns. He's very, very good option. Just a squishy option. So he's a little tricky to keep him alive, but if you can do that,
definitely, yeah.
So if we'll stay here with the Undead Hordes, and I'll toss out my other sneak attack champion that I'm really happy is being used, and I want to talk about Doom Screech.
I thought that you wanted to talk about Steel Dusser.
Did I tease you the wrong way? I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking, man. Doom Screech,
yeah, man. Doom Screech is crazy good for this. Now, he's a rare champion, right? So he's not Master Butcher good, and he's not Vizier good, but you know, he brings everything you want and some extra stuff that you might not even realize how valuable it is. But he has a decreased accuracy on his A1 with a pretty decent chance to land. Now, it's not every time, right? But it's on his A1, and it's often enough where you can usually get that up pretty consistently, right? And then the part I really like about him is his A2 ability that's going to give you this not only increased defense buff, but also a massive turn meter buff for all your allies. That means it's going to help you take turns more often. More turns is more attacks. More attacks is very, very good. So definitely some stuff I like with him there. You'll want to turn off his A3. It's not necessary. And then also, if you notice his base stats, he's got an insanely high base HP. I mean, insanely high base HP. And, you know, those bombs ignore defense. So stacking HP is the best way to help mitigate that damage. He's a very, very good champion for this. I think normal Doom Tower is probably where he shines. I haven't been able to get him to work on a Doom Tower level 90 team, but I have a clanmate Pavo who, like you actually pointed this out to me. He's built a successful team using Doom Screech, which is pretty impressive, I think. But if you're missing a decreased accuracy champion, he's probably about as good as it gets out there. A1 skills, wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. He has a very solid chance. And his Void Affinity, that's the good part about it, you know. Because we have like Geomancer.
Yeah.
Geomancer that does it, I think, and other champions that are kind of like the bad affinity for the boss. I can't even remember what. No, actually, Doug the Pierce does it twice as well with a slightly higher chance, but his magic affinity on force. So he's gonna take more damage, he's gonna be harder to keep alive, and he's gonna get weak hits, which is not gonna be reliable. So definitely Doom Skratch might be taking the first place as decreased accuracy on the A1. We have the one from the Doom Tower. What's her name? Taya, but we're not gonna unlock her just yet. She's gonna have a 60% chance, but on a single hit. So
it's frustrating that I have to unlock the champion that's best for the content that I have to unlock her to use to unlock her. Okay, great. Okay, awesome.
Definitely. Like we have Allure, guys, which is awesome. Now, in a way, Thermeter Manipulations was kind of expected on that boss, right? But literally just use her A1. Royal Guard, another champion that's seen a bit of a comeback on the Dark Fae boss. But pretty much these are kind of like the champions that they were very unexpected. You know, that was kind of like the idea. Like I made a video like this value is gonna surge on these champions. We kind of had a lot of expectations from bomb champions, considering that, yeah, we're gonna be able to use these champions against this boss. Platinum finally gave them a place in the game. They're gonna be wow. Freeze champions, they're gonna be amazing against the side bombs. It's not as it looked like. So a lot of unexpected champions that had a value surge, honestly, in my opinion. So just wanted to make this video.
Yeah.
I was gonna make it quite a few days ago, but then I just didn't have a chance. And hey, I made some videos with that with Jedi on his channel as well. Make sure you guys go check them out. And we said, let's kick one in as well here, because why not? So we covered these champions for you guys. I do hope that you enjoyed the video. That with Jedi, always a pleasure to have you on the channel, brother. Glad to have you here. And that was all for this video, guys. I will catch you all soon on another video. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and peace out.